Welcome back to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So today we're up against the Cavalier level difficulty and we're taking on all 6 of the bosses. We're going to look at my solos and walk through how to tackle them. So first up we've got this hairy ass Sasquatch and I decided to use Human Torch. Normally I would advocate using someone that could stop the Unstoppable like She-Hulk or even Luke Cage with exhaustion. It stops his Wrath of Tankarak charges rising, but today I just fancied doing something a bit different and using pre-fight Human Torch. So he's going to go unstoppable in a wee second, and then it's just a case of playing around. I need to watch out for him throwing specials or heavies, as he will be unstoppable. So it's a case of just playing around now and waiting for that passive buff to go away. So I'm just literally just backing off and backing off. We're in a bit of an awkward position, but the Wrath is gone down, and then we're back to a pretty standard fight. We do have 11 smoulders on our pre-fight, and he is starting to melt quite nicely. As you might notice, his charges are going up pretty quickly, but so are our smolder charges, so he is going to be in the bin very soon. Another reason I chose to use Human Torch was because his regen is a little bit ridiculous. Even with She-Hulk's damage you can get caught out and be here for days, so I decided to use Human Torch and reverse that so I didn't have to bother playing around, and Sasquatch is down. Pretty simple fight as long as you know how to play Sasquatch. Move on to fight number 2. So next fight up here is this pretty beefy Red Hulk. This fight could be the worst in the whole of the event quest because of the strong Bane combined with Mix Master. So if you get in a cycle of him evading you a lot and you get Bane on you, it's pretty much lights out. So his Bane is doing 0.5% of his health as damage to you. So 250,000 health, so it's a pretty beefy Bane. It does get reduced with his missing health, so that is, I guess, a saving grace later on in the fight. So with the Mix Master node, if you do the same basic attack twice in a row, he has got a 100% chance to evade you. And if he does evade you, then Spry kicks in, and that puts a fatigue debuff on you, reducing your critical damage rating by 1,000. So you're going to be hitting next to nothing. The last node here is Blood in the Water, which is if you have debuff on you, then Red Hulk gets a passive Fury on him, just increasing his damage exponentially. And this is a tanky Red Hulk anyway, and you really don't want that. Killmonger is a fantastic option for this. You get class advantage, you've got an amazing True Strike that's super reliable to use. You know, once you get it on, it's up for the entire fight, as long as you keep baiting specials and you can get you in right after a special. So I would say if you're using him, just keep to baiting SP1s. The other champions you could use, if you get Corvus with his True Strike, if you get that up, then that's a pretty easy one. Also you've got people like Aegon after 150 hits, and his combo you've got True Strike, and probably the best champion if you can play her is Quake. If you can play Quake, then you'll never have to worry about Bane because it only triggers when you land a hit, and with Quake you don't land hits. So if I could Quake, I would have definitely used her, but I can't, so Killmonger was my preferred option. I am running Void as well, so if I did get a debuff on me, I do have a chance to shrug it off, but thankfully I don't have that problem in this fight, as he doesn't evade. Go on, True Strike. So this Red Hulk is melting pretty nicely. I want to just get his SP3 off. I'm going to put a big ass bleed on him and he will be in the bin, and then we can move on to the next fight. It's easy game, easy life. Next up is the 5-star that I want the most, Professor X. And Kavama just taunted me with this one for this fight. I want a bunch of features 5 stars for him, but still I cannot pull him. But on to the fight, enough of me waffling. We've got attack by 100%, enhanced energy attacks by 40%, cornered, which increases power gain by 200% while under a damage over time debuff. You get crit resistance of 80%, special unbiased, faltered mind and footloose. So faltered mind means his faltered abilities last a second longer, and and Footloose. If he activates a special, he becomes unstoppable and has a 25% chance to evade you for 7 seconds. The big thing about playing with this is also Professor X cannot be parried off his light attacks. So I decided with Colossus and just parry heavy. This gives me the time to keep an eye on the faltered clock as it starts to run down to 0, and it means I can get reliable parries off. Also don't like his special 1. It's a little bit annoying, especially if he's fighting right up close to you, so I just back off and try and get him to an SP2. It's just a lot easier to evade. You can just back up and get out of the way of it, you don't have to worry about anything being flung at you. Just a little bit easier. Also, Colossus does have a massive SP2 even if he's not critting, so that's pretty much melting this Professor X. Just makes it a really easy fight if you have Colossus. When it comes down to the 4 stars, I will definitely be using him to down Professor X. I just find it the easiest method for myself. If I could Quake, I'd probably use Quake. I can't use her, so let's just avoid her. If you can Quake, well done. I'm just now trying to close this fight out without throwing any more specials as to stop being unstoppable. It does have the faltered, I just need to keep an eye on that, and just remember, don't just go ham when I'm faltered, as I'll miss and get slapped in the face. Professor X is now down. Pretty simple fight, over in 35 hits. Colossus is phenomenal. Let's move on to fight number 4. So moving on to fight number 4, we've got Maestro. This is probably my favourite fight in the whole of the event quest. I do love fighting Maestro, especially now that I can evade his SP1 reliably. And also I got to use my newly rank 5 Dragon Man, who's just a hell of a lot of fun. So this Maestro has Enhanced Fury by 40%, hit me if you dare. So when struck, the defender gains a Chitin charge at 10, he gets an armor buff. Not really much to worry about. He's also got a combo meter, feats of power, so when he's above 1 power bar, he gains a Fury. 2, he gains a precision buff, and when 3, he gets a cruelty buff, but if you get to 3, you're in the bin, so let's not even worry about that. He also has Rich Get Richer, so if he has his buffs, then he's going to be gaining power over time. But as long as you've got more buffs than him, or you nullify them, then you don't have to worry about that. So Dragon Man is pretty awesome for this, because he's got the 3 power gain charges, plus if you've got a dex and whatnot, you can get more buffs. At the same time, he does massive damage. If you get him in the corner, then he's going to be hitting like an absolute train. So the way I play Dragon Man is I get to an SP3, and then I'll get him in the corner, and I'll launch my SP2 for the maximum damage. Once you're in the corner, you have the corner ability with Dragon Man, so you do an insane amount of damage. You also got unblockable if you land your special, so that's really a nice ability as well. So just the thing here, I would normally have thrown my SP3 there and just cycled that, but because of the Rich Get Richer node and Maestro now is getting a lot of buffs, he gets them over time, then I just need to watch out for his power. And Dragon Man is so much fun. He just goes full Undertaker mode and chokeslams everyone. I love that SP3. I got a wee bit lucky here. I went in for the unblockable, unstoppable buffs there on Dragon Man, and he threw his SP1, but because of unstoppable, I could run away and get back in and invade that SP1. I'm sure if I didn't have that, I would have been in the bin there, as Maestro's degen was probably going to be really horrible. Normally is. But this fight is going pretty well. You know, Dragon Man hits like a train. If they're in the corner, his damage is really nuts. Another thing you can do if you've got a bunch of incinerates on the defender, if you heavy attack them, then you're going to do a massive burst of damage. I think it's, if you're in the corner, it is doubled. It does a pretty beefy amount, even though the incinerates also do a lot combined with the cornered ability. Maestro is just melting here, this Dragon Man. I think he's a really good champion. I'm having a lot of fun. You know, it's cool that he's a mystic robot. That's really cool. This Maestro will go down in a couple of seconds, and Dragon Man for the win. Boom. He's such a cool champion. Let's move on to the 5th fight. So fight number 5 is against the Immortal Hulk. It's disappointing in all honesty. He doesn't seem that good a champion to play or even go up against. So his nodes are, he's got Outlast, so it reduces damage up to 20%, proportionate to his missing health. He's got a 10% Lumber, Devil Hulk, so when he gains his immortality, he gains a passive fury, increasing attack up to 100% based on his gamma radiation. And he's got radiation exposure, so well below 75 gamma radiation. Hulk gains up to 0.5% of max health as gamma radiation per second based on his missing health, except where he's bleeding. So you've got Bleed Champion, then he's just going easy fight. Nick Fury to me is the best option, but you also got Gwenpool who'll melt him. You could use Killmonger, but that's going to be a little bit more awkward as he doesn't have a reliable bleed. But Nick Fury just absolutely melts him. You also want to watch out for his SP2. It's a little bit more annoying to evade than his SP1, which is just super easy. He's got that big smash down, then 2 strikes. Once he swings his second giant fist, you dash in and can clobber him away. It's a pretty easy fight once you see his animations. So I'm just trying to keep the bleeds up. That's all we really need to do here. Just keep those bleeds up. Probably could do a couple of heavies as well, just to keep them up so he's bleeding. Just makes him last longer. But you know, he is melting to Nick Fury. Decided to kill myself before this fight on Spider-Gwen. I took that path just to make sure I was in or about at my second life, just for the attack to go through the roof. So here, Immortal Hulk is nearly down. He's got his immortality, so we just need to let that play out and then bait this one more SP1, and now we can kill him. Once that icon goes grey, the game is over and Hulk is in the bin. Move on to the last fight, which is Immortal Abomination. So next fight up here, and the last one, is this Immortal Abomination, and I've chosen Omega Red to go with him. He does have poison on him, so I went with my best available poison immune champion. Hyperion was in AQ, or I would have used him, but Omega Red's actually a really good option. So as long as you bait out that SP1, it's a pretty easy fight. I find his SP2 is a lot harder to evade, and you've got a couple of big, I guess, energy blasts I kind of like, but this one is just him doing a couple of forward rolls and a slam down. It's really easy to evade. So his nodes are Debilitate, you've got Smash Bash, which is each time an attacking Hulk, She-Hulk, Hulk Ragnarok or Immortal Hulk is immune to poison effect. The defender gains a passive fury, granting 10% attack rating. So at 10 stacks of fury from this node, they are removed and the attacker gains a 65% fury buff and unblockable for 8 seconds. I didn't fancy actually doing that because of this acidic erosion node as well. So each time the defender is afflicted with a poison, they gain passive fury, increasing attack by 15% and max of 20 stacks. And I believe after his SP1 he gains a poison debuff on himself. So I didn't fancy just having that double fury mixed in there. So I went with Omega Red, who is we're also healing from the debuffs from willpower, and where if needs be, like here, I could throw my SP3 and drain his power and heal. That's also a really good option with Omega Red. So I'm just storing it just in case I get backed up, as his SP1 does have a lot of range, and I'm thinking if he doesn't throw it and I get backed in the corner, then I can just launch my SP3 and drain a little bit of his power and get myself out of there. That's really the main reason why I am not throwing it just yet. So he's got another node there that each time the attacker purifies the damage over time debuff, they gain damaging enhancement passive, increasing the potency of their damage over time effects by 20% for 10 seconds. This is actually not going to come into play with Omega Red because we don't have any way to purify a damage over time debuff. But you know, this fight, it's a pretty long fight, but it's pretty standard. You know, just evade the SP1 and counter him. So here I decided to throw my SP3 because I get hit and I'm in the corner, I'm in a little bit of trouble. Let's just get out and use the SP3 to regen and give us some space. And I'm now going to let this fight play just for the rest of it. It's a little bit of a longer fight than the rest of them. But if you did like this video and me explaining how to do these fights, then drop us a wee like, give us a wee comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for future content, and I'll catch you in the next one. All the best.